Hello everyone, JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. This time we're going to be doing the match analysis of the Champions League Group C match day 2 match, the home match against Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia. Before we crack on with this analysis of the victory that Manchester City picked up, don't forget, like always, if you're interested, make sure you subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, put your push notifications on. We're only 60 subscribers now away from my target of 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm confident we can hit it at some point this month, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Thank you everyone for the continued support. It is much appreciated by me. You can go and check out my social media links too. Links in description below and popping up on the screen if you want to go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with everything happening with Manchester City news and my opinions and anything happening with JSGC or anything football in general. Then go and check me out on there, on my socials. And don't forget also, leave your thoughts in the comments below and leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, as it really helped me out. So we're going to crack on with this analysis, and I'm first up going to make a point here that Manchester City didn't play bad. The scoreline being 1-0 up, being 0-0 at half-time, going 1-0 up in the 66th minute, and then not adding a second until the 95th minute suggests that City struggled. This isn't a game where Manchester City struggled, and to be fair, if Man City put their chances away, it could well have been 5 or 6, then would all of a sudden have been talking about saying how this was a wonderful performance. So by any means, this was a good performance by Manchester City. Just didn't show the clinical touch in front of goal, which is something that they're going to need to improve on going into the next game, which is what I'm going to talk about. It's an analysis, talk about the good points and where it can be improved. So we're going to start off first, by talking about the teams, and I nailed the team prediction in my preview. So Cancelo, and starting on the right, Mendy starting on the left, so nice and wide, stretching, overlapping, so a lot of that in the game. This, I felt, would have allowed Bernardo Silva and Riyad Mahrez to cut in, but they were kind of cut out of the games that weren't really working. When we brought Sterling on, I thought he was a lot better and added a lot more pace, much needed pace, probably because there were tired legs there from Zagreb from defending so deep in the game. So yeah, there was that. We saw Aguero starting up front too. 1 point we got with Kevin De Bruyne. We know that he's picked up a groin injury, more than likely going to be out for the Wolves game. I wouldn't imagine City are going to risk him, or I wouldn't anyway. And so we saw Gundogan starting in this game along with David Silva. I reckon we're probably going to see Gundogan starting again against Wolves. Whether we see David Silva starting again, City will try and phase him out. And so Phil Foden made a point coming off the bench, scoring a goal, that perhaps he deserves a start going into this game. We could see David Silva and Phil Foden be a little bit more attacking, because Wolves might be defensive and look to hit us and hurt us on the counter-attack. We'll have to wait and see. Thought it was unlucky for Phil Foden not to get into the team, but I hope anyway that he will get a start at the weekend. Also saw Eric Garcia, again, not featuring for Manchester City. So just a little bit frustrating, I imagine, for the City fans, me included, that we're wanting to see 2 or 3 young players starting to develop and get through. With injuries adding up and stuff, you'd think it would be a perfect time here in midfield. De Bruyne being injured, that Phil Foden would be able to get a lot more minutes. You'd be thinking, with the defensive crisis at centre-back, that you'd be thinking about seeing Eric Garcia more and Taylor Harwood-Bellis too. And we've seen a bit of them, but perhaps not as much as what people are hoping for. With Zagreb, didn't really know too much about them. The players, again, not too. The number 99, can't remember his name for the life of me, but he's trying to make things happen, trying to cut in and trying to get things to work. Thought it looked very dangerous on set pieces, a very tall side, a physical side. Managed to get a couple of corners, looked a little bit threatening and nothing too serious, but again, it's I don't know. I thought they'd be attacking in this game and have a go. They ended up sitting deeper, which took me by surprise. So yeah, it's like playing a Premier League side. So yeah, there were that. Anyway, first half, quiet first 15 minutes as both teams settled into the game. Once we created one opportunity, and abundance fell in the first half. David Silva, he sliced a very good opportunity wide. Gundogan hit the crossbar. Bernardo Silva sliced a couple of shots and missed a couple of shots of good opportunities. Sergio Aguero nearly rounded the keeper, taking one touch too many, I felt, and ended up seeing it saved. Felt like it was having no luck, and it's one of those where we saw it against Watford. When we show our clinical finishing, after 20 minutes, we could well be 5-0 up, and it's one of these ones, again, where we could easily have been 3, 4, 5 goals up by half time. Yeah, crazy. Talking point though of the first half was handball. Champions League's renowned for when balls touch arms, free kicks are given against the opposition if it's an attacking play, and if it's a defensive play and it hits your arm, normally they'll give a penalty, but they didn't here. VAR did have a look and said no, so inconsistencies, shall we say. Anyway, half-time, 0-0, bit of a crazy game that City have battered Zagreb, but nothing's happened. We've not been clinical enough. All routes were City were going down the left. Benjamin Mendy with his balls in. Not as clinical. Maybe we've been spoilt with how good Mendy's been, and we know his qualities that he's had so long on the sidelines that he started just to integrate himself back into the squad. That we just kept going to Mendy, and Mendy just kept putting balls in. He was connecting with some, not connecting with others, and not beating the first man. Benjamin Mendy's a very good left back and a very good crosser of the ball and finding his men. He's renowned for finding his targets. He's a very, very good crosser, and so while his stats probably suggest it being a good performance, I've seen him do a lot better, and I imagine that's what he'll be targeting too. A little bit disappointed with Bernardo Silva's performance. Maybe very critical, I'd say there. Bernardo Silva a little bit more wasteful than what we've seen to expect from Bernardo Silva. He was getting into good positions and weren't really getting involved. We've seen a lot of him on the right. We saw him on the left, weren't really working. Raheem Sterling on the left. It would probably be the route that City are going down with Leroy Sané obviously being injured. Like I said, Zagreb a lot more defensive than what I was expecting, but no, we're delighted at half time with a 0-0. I thought if they get that into the second half and get that to full time 0-0, that'd be a brilliant result for them. With City though, overall just not clinical enough. Into the second half, patience is a virtue. So Raheem Sterling come on for Bernardo Silva. I said it worked a lot better. Ball was worked in, corner came in. There was Riyad Mahrez waiting, just threads the ball in. The ball was threaded through to Riyad Mahrez, who plays the ball across. And there was Raheem Sterling to put it into the roof of the net and put it into 1-0 and ease everyone's anxiety in the stadiums. I just made a note, put few, which I think pretty much sums it up. Now, talking point, big talking point. Gundogan went down. Elbow comes in, the player's eyes are always on the ball. I can understand why a penalty was not given for that. However, moments later, Sergio Aguero has the ball. He takes the ball away from the player. The player steps on Aguero. There isn't a dive there. There's contact and Aguero goes down. He steps on him and he goes down. It's free-flowing. It's pretty obvious. The referee has a good sight, decides no penalty. Official on this right-hand side, Man City's right-hand side, has a good view, decides no penalty. VAR has a good look at this, and I'm not sure how VAR says that it wasn't a penalty. It was stonewall. The player does not get the ball. He misses the ball, gets the man goes down. The free kick or the foul is there. Penalty should be given. Not sure why a penalty weren't given. A lot of people are going to start talking about UEFA and corruption and that. I've put it down to just really bad officiating. I thought the referee yesterday was terrible at best. The VAR people that was in charge of it, terrible again. 2 or 3 opportunities to, give penalties, not given, where normally you think at least 1 or 2 would be given. So, really strange. Love to know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Anyway, Phil Foden came on for David Silva in the 90th minute. I mean, we want Phil Foden to get more minutes than just coming on in the 90th minute, but he makes a good impact, doesn't he? 95th minute, Phil Foden's there. Right place, right time. City on the counter-attack. I think it was led by Jesus, who goes into Sterling and just plays it into Foden, who's on his weaker right foot, who puts it in the back of the net, showing that clinical touch that Manchester City had been lacking in this game. Zagreb were trying to put balls into the box and were chasing the game, albeit, so we caught them on the counter-attack, but still, you got to put the ball in the back of the net, and that is something Phil Foden did that a lot of the other players did not. So, full-time, 2-0 Manchester City. Job done, really. We're going to have a look at the stats here. So, 81% possession for Manchester City, 19% for Zagreb. Complete domination. 20 shots from City, just 6 on target. That's disappointing. With us having 20 shots, I'd expect 12 or 13 shots on target. Wasteful. Putting just 2 of them 6 on in the back of the net that was on target. Again, is disappointing. 2 shots from Zagreb, 1 on target. That was from a corner, which Edison managed to catch. Like I said, aerially, we're terrible. Defensively, aerial, we're just bad. 818 passes, 89% pass completion rate. That's decent for the amount of passes that we've had. 192 passes from Zagreb, but just a 53% pass completion rate, which isn't very good. 3 clear-cut chances created from City, none from Dinamo Zagreb. More interceptions here for Dinamo Zagreb, more blocks, more clearances, more headed clearances. An aerial duel City was stronger with, but when it comes to winning set-piece headers and stuff, when they send their big men forward, we send our big men forward, we never seem to well, we win very few headers. It's extremely disappointing, and it's something that we really need to address, because I've started to nickname us the team of midgets. Because even our central defenders aren't that tall either. We need more physicality. We're going to come a cropper to it, mark my words. At some point this season, we will come unstuck due to the set pieces, and the team will completely dominate us. We kept a clean sheet. I still have my fears about defensive mistakes and defensive errors, and Otamendi stepping forward. He needs to cut that out of his game, stepping forward. Why does he do that? Has he ever made a tackle stepping forward? Very rare. Fernandinho stepped forward and managed to time it perfectly. Every time Otamendi does it, players just seem to expect it from him and just breeze it past him anyway. We'll leave it there. Anyway, comfortable win for Manchester City. We didn't have to play our A game here, but we did still play a good game. And a win is a win. We're top of the group, 6 points from 6. On to Wolves, really. Job done. We've got to do better with the balls into the box, particularly Benjamin Mendy will want to improve on that. Thought Cancelo had a good game too. It's best to win 1-0, win 2-0, be 1-0 up for a fair amount of the game, and learn our lessons now rather than made to rue missed chances on the weekend, for example. I'd rather do it now and win rather than learn our lessons. So hopefully we'll be addressing that clinicalness, and we'll be able to put the ball in the back of the net a few more times, which is always what we're looking for, because ultimately, even though we kept a clean sheet in this game, and it's great, City's best chance of keeping clean sheets and being defensively sound is just annihilating our opponents, going 2 or 3-0 up and their heads drop, and then we keep clean sheets that way. Zagreb very defensive, more defensive than what I thought. They defended well though, particularly second half. Their keeper, he's the Croatian #1 I think too. He had a very good game, made a couple of decent saves. All in all, they're a solid defensive team. It'll be a niggly, horrible match in Croatia, mark my words. It'll be a different atmosphere there, so that's just something for us to think about in the future, not for right now. And last but not least, my JSGC man of the match goes to Raheem, which sums up this game because he came on in the second half in the 55th minute, and he's ended up picking up my man of the match award. Thought we missed Kevin De Bruyne in this game big time. Maybe we'll see Phil Foden on Sunday. On to Wolves really, and hopefully Kevin De Bruyne will be back sooner rather than later, because he, in my opinion anyway, City's best player. So there we go, that's been the analysis. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here, press that red button, press the bell, put your push notifications on, aim for 5,000 subscribers. And don't forget also, check out my social media links in the description below and popping up on screen for my Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you all again for the next video. We'll have the preview for the Wolves game coming up very shortly, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll be up in like a day or two's time, so I'll see you then. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.